Okay, welcome to another episode of Gaming and Conversations. I am your host, Ray. Now, I'm going to try something different. Usually I do this live, but now I'm going to try the B-roll thing. See which one works better for what I'm doing. Like, I'm live, doing it live is, I don't have to do much work, but, doing with the B-roll, I actually just mixed the two, but it's a little bit more work, but it might be better. Plus, like, a couple times I've done it live. The volume isn't on point, and I'm new at it, but I'm also very meticulous in what I'm putting through. So I figure, let me try the B-roll thing. The B-roll thing may work. So, with that being said, I wanted to talk about grape culture, and this mic shuts off on me one more time. I'm just going to just sit it down and talk like how I usually talk. But anyway. Yeah, I wanted to talk about grape culture because I saw a video and this YouTuber, she was explaining How I Met Your Mother. Now, I have never seen an episode of How I Met Your Mother, but she was going on about Barney Stinson. And it was how, like, Barney Stinson was like a predator. And, like, he kind of promoted grape culture. So, I've never watched How I Met Your Mother, so I'm not going to defend Barney Stinson, but I also know that I know a little bit about the character, and yeah, he is one of those dudes that does a lot just to, get women in their drawers or to sleep with women. So yes, that part, because it's not that I call bullshit, because it's like Barney Stinson is the character with a flaw, and that is his flaw. He's like written that way on purpose. Like as a character, that what he's doing. I don't think the way I see it is like characters like Barney Stinson is the same way as like Eric Cartman. He's racist, but and you kind of know what he is, so you kind of look at him as a flawed character living through his flawed life. Like, he's not trying to be better, it's more or less who he is, and you just accept it as is. Same thing with Quagmire. Like, Quagmire is a predator. Like, same way you look at predator. Like, Quagmire was sleeping with a bunch of women. He's a predator. You know who he is. That's what the character is about. With that being said, but you kind of throwing in the rape culture, and because she was like, oh, he promoted rape culture or something like that. And again, like I said, I've never seen the show, and it's hard to I'm not defending Barney Stinson, but it's because I think he did because the character itself, he was doing foul things. And yes, there are people, I feel like Barney Stinson is like a warning to most people that, people like this exist. Whether you think he is cool or not, or he was always a person or not, this person like this exists. That's how I look at Barney Stinson. Same way I look at Eric Cartman. There are people out there racist. And, even though Eric Cartman is a little kid, but Eric Cartman has always had his comeuppance, so it kind of like balances itself out. But my theory on grape culture, because it's not the black and white that gets you in trouble. It is the gray area where I feel like people having the problems with. And what do you mean by that? Okay, so what is the black and white part? The black and white part is that grape is bad, and anybody who does that is a piece of shit. Like, what grape is. Basically, if you're if you're forcing yourself upon someone without their consent, that is grape. Obviously, we understand that, we know that, and we know that is bad. That's the black and white part. So, because obviously, it is what it is. This is like, if you force yourself upon a person, and without their consent, that's great. Everybody gets that. Everybody understands that. The gray area and which is an example now because people have been fighting at this, and this is probably the biggest gray area, is the perfect example, the alcohol thing. Let's say you and a woman, a man and a woman, they was both been drinking alcohol, and they both was catch a vibe. They go into a room, they have sex, and then like in the morning, the woman regrets having sex, even though like she consented, but because she was under the influence of alcohol, she's not in a right stable mind to make a decision, and the dude is considered, and I believe they consider that rape. Now, as a man, you're going, that's bullshit. And the reason why it goes bullshit because it's just like it takes the accountability off the woman. Like she chose it, especially if I didn't force alcohol on her. She chose to drink, and she chose to drink. She chose to indulge in it. No one's forcing her to do things. No one is making her do something she's not wanting to do. She's doing it on her own. And yet, as a man, you get in trouble for that. A lot of dudes, like, they call bullshit out on it. Because what if the woman was doing that to the man? What if vice versa? The woman was trying to get the man drunk to sleep with her. It's like, and is she's going to get crucified or she's going to get tried? And usually it's not like that. So a lot of dudes, but even then, it's just like when you discuss that, because a lot of people say, "Oh, you're drunk, you're not understanding," but it's just like you are, a lot of people, especially dudes, feel like you're taking accountability away from the woman and you're making her look like the victim. And the problem with this is that the woman is always the victim and it's not the man. And for one, I know a lot of women that know how to hold their liquor better than a couple dudes. Especially like me being in the military, I know a lot of women that hold their liquor better than dudes. I've seen it. Trust me, I've seen situations. So that's the gray area because most people will say that it's grape culture, and most people is just like, oh no, these two consented. It has nothing to do with grape. Now the thing with men is like the way we look at grape culture, and even the dang grape culture is, I don't want to say it scares men, but it puts us on edge because when we think of grape, again, the black and white, you're saying that I don't force myself onto the person without consent. And usually it's just like, you're down, I'm down, we're adults, we consented, drunk or not, we consented, you said yes and all that. You said yes and all the other stuff. So I didn't do nothing to force you, especially like I said, if she was drinking as much as I did. This is just like she consented. She said yes, she was down with it. Matter of fact, she was flirting. She was flirting with me the whole night. But some people's like, oh no, she wasn't really herself. It's just like, but that's not fair. No one, I said, no one put a drink in her hand. She drank in her hand. So, that was always a back and forth argument. And people said, no, you're performing rape culture. And even in the show, because the woman was like, because Barney would do a bunch of stuff that he has many ways to try to get sleep with the women. And the women's like, the one of the two women, the main characters, she said, if the women are dumb enough to fall for it, I can't remember the exact quote, so I'm paraphrasing, but if the women are dumb enough to fall for it, that's on them and not really. And people say that's promoting rape culture. I said the woman said, oh yeah, that's promoting rape culture, or that's enabling the rape culture. I disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because they're adults. Again, one of my pet peeves about this thing is that when sometimes we treat adult women like kids, or we just treat them like victims. Or like people don't know they don't know what they're doing, but these are grown women that do grown things. Especially when it comes to going to clubs and bars. I know women that don't bring a dime to a club because they can get in for free. They know that if they look good enough, somebody's going to buy them a drink. And you play that game. You're playing the game, and then trying to alter the rules to be in your favor. Where it's just like, because as a man, let's just say if I'm driving drunk, and I get into a car crash. That is me. I'm taking accountability. If I do something that I shouldn't be doing, I have to take accountability of it. I have to accept the consequences of the actions of the something that I did that is accountable. A lot of times these rules does not favor the person. If anything, it takes away their accountability and then labels them as a victim. Men don't like that. Some women will say yes, some women will say no, but that's what that gray area is. The Diddy and Cassie case, that's a gray area because I mean, there's a reason why he got off because the more Cassie told her story, the more you realize. And even then, like a lot of Diddy's other people that was in the freak offs, they was willing participants. When you really and when you really even I know a lot of people want to throw Stockholm syndrome. A lot of one people say like they wasn't in. It's like a lot of these women were willing participants, and this is where coercion goes in. Now, coercion to me is a person on person basis and depends on the situation. Okay. And again, I want this to be short because I don't want people to just think I'm defending Diddy or like enabling grape culture. I'm not. I would want the safety of everybody in general. But it has to be even all around because sometimes a lot of people do use that to weaponize that I even in the school I went to, someone tried to lie on someone that she was great, but she was obviously lying just to get that man in trouble, and it almost ruined his life. And imagine like they would have let that go. They had to really investigate that. It's fucked up. So even then with coercion, I tell people all the time the thing about coercion because people always say, "Oh, he coerced her." To me, I like when I was especially like 10 years younger. If you ask me 10 years younger, I would say it's bullshit because you say yes, because you said yes, and it's hard to kind of like. And this is why people get mad at the law because the law is just like if you say yes, you consented, you're getting off. That's why like a lot of these predators when they mess with minors, that say they're 16, they mess with minors, and the minors like yes, I consented. He didn't do anything legally. He didn't do anything wrong. Morally, yes, he is a piece of shit, but legally, he didn't do anything wrong because the person consented. And then men were like, the law is the law. And yeah, it was like even though I may not agree with it, I do know that that's the reason why he got off. And a lot of women was like, that is bullshit. I was like, well, change the law. It's one of the things where it's just like you change the law. In Maryland, the age of consent is 16. But on to coercion. My thing about coercion is if you say yes, there is no crime because you gave him the go. I've always been like that. Even if you mean no, you said yes. And the thing is, like, if anybody tells you, don't say yes when you mean no. That is like one of the golden rules. It's just like you gave him your word or you gave him the consent to do what he got to do, even when you don't feel like it. Now, if let's just say if like a movie director goes to a woman and says, I will give you this part if you sleep with me, and she sleeps with him and he ends up not giving her the part, yes, that's coercion. He should go to jail. I think that's what Weinstein was doing in that case. That was what Weinstein was doing. So that type of coercion, I understand why a woman is mad. With that being said, it's just like, this is why I tell people, especially women, if it's no the first time, it should be no the 10th time. If it's no the 10th time, the 100th time. If it's no the 100th time, let it be no the 1,000,000th time. Until you are ready. Until you are ready and you are comfortable of doing that act. You let that person know, I'm not ready. I'm not comfortable. I'm not doing this. Because if he Joseph, then it obviously turns into grape. And like you can hem him up and lock him up for that, especially when you can prove it. But if you say yes when you meant no, then they're going to go, especially like if they're not really trying to, like, especially if the dude is not on that type of time. If the dude is not on it, like he wants the best for you, and maybe you're not in the mood, but you give him some, but you feel uncomfortable that you gave him some. It was like, why'd you say yes? And dudes don't like that because it's just like, I know, like, I don't like hear nigga damn pussy because I know you don't want to, but you know, and even as a man, I'm speaking for myself. As a man, I have needs, but I don't want no hear nigga damn pussy either because obviously you're not into it. I want you into it as much as I do. Like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I want you to be as comfortable as I am while we doing that. So, but a lot of these people, a lot of these women, and even if it's like, keep a man, it's just like you'll say yes, but you're not comfortable. It's just, I want women to know, like I said, if it's no the first time, then it's no the 10th time. If it's no the 10th time, if it's no the 100th time. Until you are ready, do not say yes, and then you won't be coerced. Because a man is, again, a man has needs. He's going to try to do what he can to get the draws. If he really appreciates you, he's not going to try to force nothing on you. But most people are not like that. And this is the shit that, if I have, like I said, if I have a daughter in the future, or if I have a niece, these are things that I'm going to warn my kids or my niece. There are predators out there. There are people that just want you for your body. There are people that don't give a damn about you. They just want the box. You got to protect yourself. I'm not going to be there all the time, but I hope that you have the wherewithal and knowledge to understand that your body is a temple and you keep yourself safe at all times. I hope for that. The another, and yeah, that about it. That's my stance on the whole thing about grape culture. In conclusion, it's not the black and white areas that's going to get you in trouble. It's always the gray areas that's really funny. And until we kind of like decide how to handle the gray areas, I feel like a lot of people is going to have different views of what grape culture is. So that is my opinion on that. Now, again, I'm not defending Barney Stinson. And I want people to understand I'm not defending Barney Stinson. Because from what I know, he was a predator. I can't deny that. That's who he was. But I don't know. It was just her definition of grape culture is just like, it was. I'm not surprised she felt it. She, kind of worded it that way, but I also feel like it need to be, what's the word I'm looking for? More, I don't know. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I'm not, I just want the safety for both parties. Let's just say that, both men and women, because I know dudes that don't want to, they feel like me. Just, you gave me your consent, you was like cool with it, and then all of a sudden you're not cool with it. It's just a wait, you know. I don't, and then it comes a mind fuck and all that other stuff. So I want the safety of both parties, but especially the women, I also want accountability to be equal on both sides as well. So let me know what you guys think, how you feel about it. Till then, my name is Oskino Fly, or this is Gaming and Conversations. I think whatever I want to do with this, but let me get some B-roll. Hopefully you enjoyed the B-roll while I'm talking about this. This is Oskino Fly, and peace.